Good morning. In this second video, continuing from the denial by Peter of Jesus, I want to talk a little bit more about where I am on the Kundalini journey and how these events are detailed in many of the different spiritual and organized religious texts throughout history. So there is such thing as a shadow and light realm. So when you awaken Kundalini, the two channels, the Ida and Pingala, that the Kundalini initially rises through, are the opposing energies. Male and female, positive, negative, it's opposing energies. However, in the very center is the Sushumna channel, the center channel, which you have to go deeper into meditation in order to awaken that. And when all three channels are open, then of course you do have the very blissful experience. So the journey of awakening Kundalini varies for each individual, but it takes a certain amount of time. It's not instantaneous as far as the information that God wants you to know, the lessons you have to learn, the superhuman powers that you are given, and right action of using them. All of these things take place over many years, and this is now 2023, and Happy New Year to everyone. And it has officially been 14 years since I initially awakened Kundalini. And you have to do everything in this realm twice. It's like you open the door, that's one, you close the door, that's two, it's closed. And then so good things happen when you open the door, but yet better things happen generally when you close the door. So that's just part of this experience. I don't know why I didn't design it. But everything happens twice. So awakening Kundalini the first time, you have to awaken Kundalini again a second time. Although it's not dormant, you have to kind of superpower that Kundalini energy again. They have me do things here twice. Like I go to the store and I purchase something, and then that leaves the light on, that leaves the door open, and some really good things can transpire during that time frame. But if it's left open or the light on too long, then some negative things can take place. So then you have to go and I have to visit the store again, and that closes the door. So there are some really strange experiences here, and it all relates to shadow and light. So I have mentioned before where I can go into kind of the shadow realm, the spirit realm, and get something, or God will have me manifest something, and then I bring it back to the light, bring it back to what would be considered everyday living. So when I have been asked to address certain spiritual practices or organized religious scriptures, it's usually because the story being presented is not accurate, and so I am being asked to correct it. And the story of Peter's denial of Jesus 3 times is as a prime example of that. So the story, as I have mentioned in my previous video, is Peter denying Jesus. Peter is the epitome of the ego, of the superego. His reactions are bold and usually not very well thought out. He has kind of a bigger mouth than a brain. You know, he's gonna stand by Jesus to the end, and he doesn't. a true example of the falsehood of the ego and the shadow realm versus the truth of the light realm and Jesus. So when I didn't really know that story. I had to look it up. But I was asked to address it because I am experiencing over this past few months the exact same experience of the recognition and addressing Jesus. So let me give you an example. I was asked, or I was told, to address the person who I thought was Jesus, address them as Jesus. And this started a few months back, the end of the summer kind of a thing. And I was like, you want me to call some strange person Jesus? You know? And although he's come to me on several occasions, and I know basically what he looks like, it is not the fully glorified Jesus. It is kind of the simplified human version. So anyway, I would go up to a person who I thought had a similar look, and I would say something like, Jesus, isn't it a great day? and they would go, nope. And I was like, what? Okay, not that one. And so then, several days, a couple weeks, whatever, would go by, and I would see someone else who has a similar look about him. And I would say, hi, Jesus, this is a wonderful afternoon. And they would go, nope. I was like, gosh, what is he coming to me as? How is he coming to me? And so who I was actually addressing is the shadow version of him, and not the light version. And so I have to recognize the light version and call him Jesus on 3 separate occasions, 3 times. So when he came to me a couple of weeks ago at the mid-December, I was like, oh, okay, now I know. And but I didn't address him as Jesus at that time. I just simply looked at him and talked to him, and that was it. So since then, I have addressed him. He's come to me 2 more times, and I have addressed him twice as Jesus, and he said yes. And I was like, got it, yay. Now I know exactly. Even though it's not the full divine glory, he's still just extraordinarily beautiful, and I have to do it 1 more time. And that timing of me interacting with him, seeing him, and addressing him is all controlled by God. So the Last Supper is really a metaphor and a complete opposite of what transpires at the end. It is actually the marriage union of Jesus and what is happening in the Last Supper. The events all pertain to reunion with God. And so you have the denial, which is actually the recognition of Jesus by the journeyer, by the soul. You have the betrayer, which shows the cosmic positioning for all of that to unfold, which is at the bottom of the cosmic pole. And then you have the rising up the pole into the heavenly realms where you reunite with God in what is considered the marriage union, where my masculine counterpart is my higher self, is God, is Jesus, comes to me, and we are united. If you are a man doing this journey, then your goddess will come to you. Your higher self is your goddess, and she will guide you along the journey, and she will come to you at the end for union of your complete being. So instead of the Last Supper being this betrayal and morbid story of Peter's denial and Judas's betrayal and cannibalism of the body and blood of Christ, and leading to the events of abuse and then resurrection, it's completely the opposite of that. It is actually the recognition of God and being low at the kingdom, the kingdom placement in the cosmos of the pole to rise, really, to resurrect and unite in marriage celebration with the holy sacred one. And then the journey's over, then it's done. The whole thing is completed. So I don't know why they changed the story and made it completely opposite and morbid, but they did. And you need to understand that it's wrong, that teaching is completely wrong, and it is kind of like a game, but not. It's this beautiful, beautiful celebration and events that unfold to reunite with the sacred divine in the heavens. So I hope that clarifies it a little bit more. There is this black and white duality. The yin yang is symbolic of that. Even Kundalini, Kabbalah is symbolic of that. But what happens is that it all blends together into a beautiful cacophony of color and an unfolding of divine grandeur and glory. So I hope that helps, and I wish you all a beautiful day, and I'm very pleased to share the truth with you so that you can see that God is glorified in his proper placing, and that it is supposed to be this beautiful journey to God. And unfortunately, organized religion has lost that completely, has completely lost it. So have a beautiful day, and thank you so much for watching the videos.